She stood on the side of the road, alone. The desert heat pressed against the glass of her car like the weight of the entire world. Her phone had just died. No signal. No charger. The engine had stopped without warning, and she didn't even know how to open the hood. She wasn't weak. She wasn't dumb. She just had never been taught. All her life, she had been told to call someone, a man, a mechanic, her dad, her boyfriend, her brother. And now, none of them were here. She looked at the engine like a foreign language, full of parts that might as well have been spells. And in that moment, her powerlessness was louder than the silence of the highway. This isn't just a story, it's a warning. Because every day, women all over the world are stranded. Not just on the road, but in life. Not because they're not smart, but because society never expected them to understand machines, tools, engines, or wires. And so they were left out of a kind of knowledge that could have given them power. Power to leave. Power to travel. Power to say, I don't need your help, thank you. Power to know when someone's trying to lie, cheat, or overcharge them. Power to protect what they built and how far they want to go. Learning mechanics isn't about fixing every problem. It's about not being fooled by every problem. It's not about becoming a technician. It's about becoming unbreakable. And maybe it starts small, knowing how to change a tire, how to refill the coolant, how to jump a dead battery, how to avoid being scammed when you hear that funny noise. They swear will cost you $200, because the truth is, basic mechanics isn't masculine. It's just survival. And survival has no gender. It's not about cars. It's about control. Control over your time. Control over your safety. Control over how far you can go, and how fast you come back. You've probably seen it before. A woman pulled over, calling someone in panic. Or crying because the tow truck man made her feel stupid. Or leaving a garage after being charged double for something she didn't even need. And the worst part? She knew something didn't feel right. But she didn't know enough to prove it. So she paid. In silence. In doubt. In shame. And if you've ever been that woman, this video is for you. Because there's nothing soft about being stranded. There's nothing feminine about being fooled. There is power in knowing how to defend yourself. Even when your enemy wears a name tag and smiles behind a desk, there is wisdom in not panicking when something smells like burnt oil or sounds like grinding metal. There is strength in not depending on a rescuer. Especially when you can be the one who rescues you. And maybe they told you it's too hard. That it's too dirty. That you should leave it to the men. But let me ask you something. When has being underestimated ever stopped you? Exactly. This isn't just about cars. It's about the life they take you to. The one you choose without fear. So today, we're going to talk about why every woman, regardless of age, background, income, or style, should learn basic mechanics. Not for him, not to impress anyone, but for her, for you. Because someday, you'll be the woman who doesn't panic when the light comes on. You'll be the one who pops the hood with steady hands. And when someone tries to talk down to you in a mechanic shop, you'll look them in the eye and ask, "Do you want to try?" That sentence again, and just like that, you won't just own your car, you'll own your power. Let's begin. Let's start with the basics. Not because you're weak, but because power is built from the ground up. First, the tire. That round rubber ring that keeps your car moving can also be the thing that leaves you stranded for hours if you don't know what to do when it flattens. Changing a tire isn't complicated, but the fear around it? That's what paralyzes most people. So let's break it down. You need 4 things: a jack, a lug wrench, a spare tire, and belief that you can do this. You loosen the bolts. Jack the car up, remove the flat, place the spare, tighten the bolts. That's it. It doesn't require strength. It requires steps, precision, and calm, just like life. Then there's the engine oil. You don't need to know how to rebuild an engine, but you do need to know how to keep it alive. Low oil equals engine damage, and engine damage equals $3,000 or more in repairs. But checking your oil takes 30 seconds. Pop the hood, pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean, insert again, pull it back, check the level. Done. It's not magic, it's maintenance, and maintenance is power in slow motion. Same goes for the battery. If your car doesn't start and you hear that slow, dragging sound, it's probably dead. All you need is a jump start and jumper cables. Red to red, black to black. Connect the working car. Wait a minute. Start yours. No panic, no tears. Just knowledge. Do you see it now? Mechanics isn't about engines. It's about not being at the mercy of ignorance. And that's what predators count on. Your ignorance. That's why so many women get scammed in garages. Because someone throws words like timing belt, caliper, or gasket, and it sounds like a foreign language. So we nod. And we pay. And we leave, confused, but compliant. But what if next time you didn't nod? What if you said, "I'd like to see the part that needs replacing," or, "Can you break that down for me like I'm a mechanic too?" Suddenly, you're not just a customer. You're a woman who knows too much to be taken advantage of. And that's the kind of woman this world doesn't expect, but desperately needs. We're not here to become mechanics. We're here to stop being victims. You can be elegant and still carry a torque wrench. You can be soft-spoken and still know how to bleed your brakes. You can be feminine and still tell the mechanic, "No, I don't think I'll pay for that." This is the era of the woman who knows what's under her hood and trusts what's inside her gut. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about brakes. The most important system in your car isn't the one that makes it move. It's the one that makes it stop. Your brakes are your last line of defense. When they fail, panic begins. But when you understand them, even just a little, you stay calm when others would freeze. There are signs your brakes need help. A squealing or grinding sound, a soft or mushy brake pedal, a car that pulls to one side when stopping, or a dashboard light that you've been ignoring for too long. Don't ignore them. These aren't just mechanical issues. They're warnings. Warnings that your power, your safety, is slipping away without your permission. Knowing when to speak up at a shop is just as important as knowing how to drive. When you understand brakes, you know when someone's trying to scare you into an unnecessary repair. You know how to ask, "What percentage of pad is left? Can I see the rotors? What's the labor cost?" You don't just nod anymore, you lead the conversation. Let's go deeper. The belts and fluids. Your car runs on more than gas. It breathes coolant. It pulses with transmission fluid. It stays awake because of serpentine belts, timing belts, and systems that keep everything in rhythm. You don't have to memorize every piece, but you do need to know the symptoms of a car in trouble. Overheating? Could be the radiator, low coolant, or a busted fan. Hard shifting? Could be low transmission fluid. Strange ticking or chirping. Under the hood? Could be a worn belt. Each sound is a whisper. And the more fluent you become in this language, the harder it becomes for someone to lie to you. And that's the key. Mechanics isn't just a skill. It's a language. And if you don't speak it, someone else will speak for you. And when others speak for you, they decide what you pay, what you replace, what's urgent, what's normal, and they use your silence as permission. But once you learn the language, even just a little, you can nod with confidence, or shake your head with certainty. That's power. And it's the same kind of power that bleeds into the rest of your life. Because once you realize that understanding your car is just another skill, you begin to wonder, What else did they convince? Me was too complicated? Money, tools, technology, business, leadership? What else have I been told I'm not supposed to know? And that's where the shift begins. That's when the woman who was stranded on the highway becomes the woman who drives into the future with her hands steady on the wheel. So keep learning. You're not just fixing a car, you're rebuilding your identity, and you're doing it with tools no one ever handed you. Because now, you've picked them up yourself. Let's talk about the other kind of breakdown, the kind that doesn't come from a flat tire or a dead battery. It's the moment a woman realizes she's been kept in the dark. Not just about cars, but about power. It starts with phrases like, "Just let him handle it. You don't need to know that. It's too complicated." That's not very ladylike. And it ends with women stuck in situations they should have walked away from years ago. If only they had a car, or money, or confidence, or knowledge. Mechanics isn't just about mechanics. It's about reclaiming lost ground. You see, every time you pop the hood, you're saying, "I'm not afraid of what's inside." Every time you change your own oil, you're saying, "I can take care of myself." Every time you check your tire pressure before a road trip, you're saying, "I don't need to be rescued." And the truth is, you never did. We've just been trained to think otherwise. Trained to fear the grease. Trained to avoid the engine room. Trained to think practical means masculine. But what's more practical than survival? What's more essential than movement? What's more liberating than knowing no one can stop you? Not even a machine? You don't have to learn it all at once. You just have to start. Watch a video. Ask a question. Buy a tool. Open the manual. Touch the engine. Feel the fear, and then do it anyway. Because the woman who knows how to keep moving forward becomes unstoppable. So the next time someone says, "Why? Would you want to learn that?" You look at them and smile, and say, "Because I never want to feel helpless again." And that, my sister, is enough. So let's keep going. Let's talk tools. There are 5 tools every woman should have, whether you drive daily or once a week. A reliable tire gauge 2, a portable air compressor 3, a basic wrench and socket set 4, jumper cables or a portable jump starter 5, a flashlight, not your phone, a real one. These aren't toys, they're weapons of independence. You don't carry them to impress. You carry them so when the moment comes, you are not the woman who waits. You are the woman who acts. Now imagine this. You're in a parking lot. Your battery's dead. Your phone's at 2%. It's dark. No one's around. But in your trunk, there's a portable jump starter. You connect the clamps. You turn the key. The engine roars back to life. And you don't panic. You smile. Because power isn't about never needing help. It's about knowing that if help never comes, you'll still be okay. And that is a kind of beauty no one talks about, but everyone feels. That's the new femininity. Strong, prepared, quietly dangerous, and it starts with knowledge. So keep going. Let's talk about the lies, the ones they tell you in shops, the ones that cost you hundreds, sometimes thousands, the lies that sound like, you need a full system flush. Your brake fluid is black. It's dangerous. Your spark plugs are about to explode. You should replace the whole exhaust, just in case. And maybe it's true, but maybe it's not. And unless you know the basics, how can you tell? Here's the truth. Most mechanics are good people. But bad actors exist, and they target the uninformed, especially women. Because too many still believe the garage is not your battlefield, but it is. So how do you fight? With knowledge. Did you know your cabin air filter, the one they charge $80 to replace, can be changed by you in less than 5 minutes? Did you know some urgent oil leaks are actually just residue buildup that hasn't dripped once? Did you know that check engine lights have levels? Not everything is a crisis. But they'll sell it like it is, unless you ask the right questions, and you will. Because now, you're not just listening, you're learning. Here's how to respond to a mechanic. Can I see it? Is this something I need right now, or can it wait? What would you do if it were your car? Can you explain it to me simply so I can make the best decision? Those questions shift the power. They tell the mechanic, I'm watching. I'm not afraid, and I'm not signing anything until I understand. That's not aggression. That's protection. And it's the kind of protection every woman deserves. Because the garage isn't just a place for repairs. It's a place where too many women have been humiliated, talked down to, treated like decoration. But those days are done, because this woman knows what's under the hood. She doesn't just drive, she decides. She knows what a spark plug looks like, what a filter does. She knows when her engine sounds wrong, and when someone's lying about it. And if she doesn't know yet, she learns. Fast. Because her pride is no longer in being perfect, it's in being prepared. You don't need to master every bolt and belt, but you do need to master the tone that says, don't talk to me like I'm stupid. That alone is worth more than any part on the shelf. That's your power now. Use it. Let's move from protection to preparation, from reacting to mastering. It's one thing to know how to handle a crisis. It's another to stop the crisis before it even begins. That's where routine maintenance comes in. Most people ignore it. They wait until something breaks, then scramble. But you're different now. You're proactive. You inspect. You schedule. You stay ahead. Because that's what real power looks like. Quiet, consistent control. Here are 5 maintenance habits that every woman should know. Check tire pressure monthly. Underinflated tires can cause accidents, waste fuel, and wear out faster. Keep a digital tire gauge in your glove box. Change your oil on time. Not just someday. And know your car's interval, 3,000 to 7,500 miles. Mark your calendar. Inspect your lights. Brake lights, signals, headlights. Once a month, check them. It could save your life, or someone else's. Then, top off fluids. Washer fluid, coolant, brake fluid, transmission fluid. Open the hood. Learn their caps. Make it a ritual. Listen to your car. Really listen. New noises, strange vibrations, sluggish starts. Your car speaks. Never ignore its voice. These habits aren't chores. They're choices. Choices that say, I care about my safety. I care about my freedom. I take myself seriously. And the moment you begin taking yourself seriously, the world follows. You walk into that mechanic shop not with fear, but with facts. You hand over your keys knowing exactly what you need, and more importantly, what you don't. And when they sense you're informed, the games stop, the lies dry up, the respect begins, because no one hustles the woman who studies. This is how you lead your life, like you lead your car, with checks, with balance, with fuel, with alignment. You don't wait for breakdowns anymore. You build a machine that lasts, and when it does break, as all machines eventually do, you fix it. Not because you love wrenches, but because you love not being powerless. That's the difference, and it changes more than just how you drive. It changes how you live, how you choose partners, how you approach business, how you handle setbacks, how you raise daughters, how you mentor others. Because power, when practiced, becomes presence, and presence becomes legacy. So the next time you open that hood, remember, this isn't about spark plugs. It's about the spark in you, the one they tried to dim, but they failed. And now, you're moving forward, on your own terms. Let's keep driving. Let's go even deeper. into the mindset of a woman who not only knows how to drive, but how to dominate. She doesn't flinch when a dashboard light turns on. She doesn't panic when a tire goes flat. She doesn't rely on charm to get through a garage visit, because she has something more powerful than fear or charm: competence. And competence is magnetic. You see, the woman who understands mechanics begins to carry herself differently. She stands taller. She asks sharper questions. She walks into rooms and garages, expecting respect, not hoping for it. And when people try to test her, she doesn't flinch. She educates. Because the real revolution isn't just about fixing machines. It's about breaking cycles. Cycles where women are taught to wait, to depend, to fear, to doubt, to apologize for asking questions. But this woman, she doesn't apologize. She investigates. She opens YouTube not to scroll, but to learn. She watches tutorials. She reads manuals. She memorizes warning signs and system names, not to become a mechanic, but to become undeniable. Because once you know what you're talking about, no one can silence you with jargon. And this woman, you've seen what happens when women become fluent in systems once closed to them. First it's cars, then it's coding, then it's contracts, then it's capital. It spreads. Because the moment you conquer one system, you realize you were never the problem. Just the target. But not anymore. You've learned to listen to your engine and to your intuition. You've learned to turn a wrench and to turn the conversation when someone's trying to deceive you. You've learned to refill fluids and refill your confidence. You've learned to handle heat and to keep going, even under pressure. This is what true mastery looks like. Not perfection, but presence. The presence of a woman who doesn't wait to be rescued. She reads the map, repairs the vehicle, and drives the route herself. And now, she teaches others. She shows her daughter how to check the oil. She shows her niece how to tighten bolts. She tells her friends which courses helped her most. She sends links. She lends tools. She becomes the person she needed back then, and never had. That's how movements begin, with one woman refusing to stay stranded. Let's drive this home. She didn't grow up around tools. No one handed her a wrench. No one taught her how to lift a hood or change a filter. She grew up being told that was someone else's job, that someone else would take care of it, that she should focus on staying safe, being polite, not getting in the way. But the older she got, the more she realized, depending on someone else for survival wasn't safety. It was a silent gamble. And every time something went wrong, from a flashing check engine light to the sound of a flat tire on an empty road, she felt it. That cold, powerless fear. Until one day she decided, no more. No more waiting. No more hoping someone else shows up. No more paying double for half the truth. No more pretending she doesn't care about things she depends on every day. She rolled up her sleeves and stepped into the space the world never prepared her for. And what she found there wasn't just wires, grease, and metal. She found confidence. She found control. She found clarity. Because learning mechanics didn't just fix her car. It rewired her mind. She started to think differently. Not just what's wrong with my car, but how do I solve this on my own? Not who can I call, but what do I already know? And with every turn of a bolt, every lesson learned, she felt it. The fear shrinking, the confidence rising, the voice inside her growing louder than the doubts outside. That voice said, "You've got this. You're smart enough. You're strong enough. You're done waiting." And once that voice takes root, it doesn't just stay under the hood, it follows her everywhere. She starts checking her bank account like she checks her oil, with awareness, precision, and no excuses. She stops letting people talk over her, because now she knows the signs of BS, whether it's in a repair shop or a relationship. She sees manipulation faster. She walks away sooner. She trusts herself deeper, and people notice. Because a woman who knows how to take care of her car knows how to take care of herself. This is where it begins, with a socket wrench, with a question, with the courage to look at something confusing and say, "I'm not afraid of you. Let's go further." So what happens when this mindset spreads? It's no longer about fixing your car. It's about fixing the assumptions the world made about you. The idea that you can't, that you shouldn't, that it's not your place. But guess what? Every time you lift a jack, every time you read a manual, every time you step into that parts store and ask the right question, you're telling the world, this is my place now. And something powerful happens when a woman reclaims a space that was never designed for her. She doesn't ask for permission. She takes initiative. She doesn't wait to be told. She researches, experiments, learns on her terms. And that changes how she moves in every room. The woman who learns mechanics doesn't just learn tools. She learns timing. She learns how to identify problems early. She learns how to avoid the cost of inaction. She becomes the type of person who notices details others miss. The smell of burning rubber, the sound of misfiring cylinders, the hesitation in someone's voice when they lie. This is what mechanical thinking does to a woman's mind. It sharpens, it organizes, it simplifies. Suddenly, chaos doesn't scare her anymore because she's been under the hood, where everything looks like chaos, and still found a way to understand. She's been elbow deep in problems and didn't quit. So when life hands her another mess, she doesn't panic. She scans. She assesses. She acts. And let's be real, that kind of woman is a threat to anyone who profits off confusion. Because once a woman sees how powerful she is when she understands something that once intimidated her, she stops believing in limits, and that's dangerous. Not to her, to them, to the systems that thrived when she stayed quiet, to the people who liked her dependent, to the shops, bosses, lovers, and lenders who got rich off her uncertainty. Because now, she asks more. She checks twice. She reads the fine print. She walks in with a list and walks out without guilt. And what's wild is, it all started with a car that broke down at the wrong time, a car that forced her to stop waiting and start learning. That's the moment that changed everything. So, if you're standing at that moment now, scared, unsure, overwhelmed, good, because now it's your turn. Let's talk about what comes next. Because once you begin this journey, this path of power, knowledge, and preparation, you'll start noticing something. You're not alone anymore. You'll meet women like you, women who got tired of being confused, tired of being scared, tired of being told to just wait for help. And those women, they become your allies. You share tutorials, you trade tools, you text each other pictures like, "Does this look normal?" You celebrate small wins, like changing a headlight or replacing windshield wipers without paying someone else to do it. This becomes a culture, a quiet rebellion, not loud, not dramatic, just consistent, just relentless. And it spreads, because the woman who learns to change a flat tire becomes the woman who changes her budget, becomes the woman who changes her boundaries, becomes the woman who changes the way her daughter sees the world. That's the real revolution. And here's where things get even more real. You start to see tools differently. That flashlight in your glove box, it's not just for emergencies. It's a reminder that you are never completely in the dark. That tire pressure gauge, it's not just a device. It's a decision to never drive blind. That portable jump starter, that's confidence in a case. The kind you don't have to borrow. And yes, some of these tools you'll want to have on hand. Not because you expect trouble, but because you're ready for it. We left a few links below for gear that can make a real difference. Because if you're going to prepare, do it properly, but don't stop there. Prepare your mindset, prepare your strategy, prepare your future. Because this isn't just about your car anymore. It's about your life. And if you've made it this far in the video, that means something. It means you're not the type to click and quit. You're the type who stays, who studies, who evolves. And that's exactly the kind of energy this world needs more of. So keep learning, keep asking, keep fixing. Because one day, someone's going to look at you and say, I wish I was that confident. And you'll smile. Because you'll remember, it all started with a question, a jack, and the decision to believe in yourself. Let's keep going. Let's talk about the future. Not the one on the screen, but the one in your hands. The future, where a flat tire doesn't ruin your day, where car trouble doesn't mean panic, where breakdowns become moments of clarity, not chaos. Because now you know, preparation beats panic. Every time. And that changes how you look at everything. Suddenly, you're not just maintaining a machine, you're mastering a mindset, and that mindset spills into every corner of your life. You plan your finances with the same care you plan. Your oil changes. You choose relationships like you choose your parts, with research, standards, and a return policy. You stop chasing people who don't align, just like you don't buy parts that don't fit. You become selective, intentional, efficient. Because when you understand how systems work, you stop letting life happen to you and start designing it on your terms. And others feel it. They hear it in your tone. They see it in your posture. They notice it when you calmly fix something they thought required panic. You stop reacting. You start anticipating. You're not just surviving anymore. You're strategizing. And the craziest part? This didn't require a degree, or permission, or waiting. It just required one choice: to learn. That's it. One decision to stop pretending that it's not your thing. One moment of courage to say, I can figure this out. And from there, everything changed. You became someone who reads instructions. You don't wait for breakdowns anymore. You build a machine that lasts. And when it does break, as all machines eventually do, you fix it. Not because you love wrenches, but because you love not being powerless. That's the difference. And it changes more than just how you drive. It changes how you live, how you choose partners, how you approach business, how you handle setbacks, how you raise daughters, how you mentor others. Because power, when practiced, becomes presence, and presence becomes legacy. So the next time you open that hood, remember, this isn't about spark plugs. It's about the spark in you, the one they tried to dim, but they failed, and now you're moving forward, on your own terms. Let's keep driving. Let's go even deeper, into the mindset of a woman who not only knows how to drive, but how to dominate. She doesn't flinch when a dashboard light turns on. She doesn't panic when a tire goes flat. She doesn't rely on charm to get through a garage visit, because she has something more powerful than fear or charm: competence. And competence is magnetic. You see, the woman who understands mechanics begins to carry herself differently. She stands taller. She asks sharper questions. She walks into rooms and garages, expecting respect, not hoping for it. And when people try to test her, she doesn't flinch. She educates. Because the real revolution isn't just about fixing machines. It's about breaking cycles. Cycles where women are taught to wait, to depend, to fear, to doubt, to apologize for asking questions. But this woman, she doesn't apologize. She investigates. She opens YouTube not to scroll, but to learn. She watches tutorials. She reads manuals. She memorizes warning signs and system names, not to become a mechanic, but to become undeniable. Because once you know what you're talking about, no one can silence you with jargon. And this woman, you've seen what happens when women become fluent in systems once closed to them. First it's cars, then it's coding, then it's contracts, then it's capital. It spreads, because the moment you conquer one system, you realize you were never the problem, just the target. But not anymore. You've learned to listen to your engine and to your intuition. You've learned to turn a wrench and to turn the conversation when someone's trying to deceive you. You've learned to refill fluids and refill your confidence. You've learned to handle heat and to keep going, even under pressure. This is what true mastery looks like. Not perfection, but presence.